Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever, whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. We are back here again, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit more from each other and how the knowledge will be shared and how we use the knowledge. In the past few weeks, we have come to understand more about the cycle of life. We look at the cycle of life in the eye of the man from the time of inception till the time we die. But in a universal language, the cycle of life for our soul comes from the time of the creation of the creator, and ever ongoing. It never changes, it never finishes. It always stays ongoing. So in a physical life, we have maybe 50 years, 20 years, 80 years, or 100 years from the time of our inception, when we were, in a way, conceived in the womb of the mother, till the day we finish the physical life. But if you understand that I made man in the image of myself, which I refer to a lot because it's the attribute and totality of every direction and dimension of the life of the man. The life of his cell, the life of the physical body, the life of the soul of physicality, and life of the soul of the man is all replication of. Now we have to understand, as we all come from and go back to, our physical life, material collection, is the time on this planet. The soul life, as is connected to the other fields of the universe, comes from the origin. So we are in the soul level, we never die. There is no an end. We are just part of amalgamation of all, in interaction of all, and sometimes some fields come together in one point, and that leads to the creation of, let's say, the soul of the man. And then on departure, those parts of the physical life energy and the fields carry on and maybe become part of another cycle of life or physical condition, or part of the soul of another life. And then it's ongoing. We are in a soul level, a mixture of all what is come from creator and leads to another creation, which itself goes back to the creator. So if someone asks you how old you are, in physical dimension I'm 50, 60. In the solar strength, according to the field understanding strength of the creation, in this dimension of the soul, could be from the beginning of time, but it's not could be, 100% is from the beginning of time, because that's where everything comes from. So if they say this universe is 4 billion or 10 billion years old, the dimension of the strength of the fields that created your soul, a combination of amalgamation of whatever, is that age. It cannot be any different. Fields which led to the creation of your forefathers or the creation of the sun did not just come up out of nowhere. It has come from a source. And then we say the fields of the sun in interaction with the fields of the earth leads to the creation of the matter state or plasma or protein or whatever. So in fact, in the cycle of the soul, feel the strength of creation of the soul of the man. Our soul is as old as the creator. Cannot be any different. Different strength, yes. Different dimensions, yes. But in essence, is, cannot be, and is part of the soul of the creator, fields of the created things. And once we understand this brings us back to the transmutation, which means as we have been right along the way from the point of the creation of this universe with every other fields within this universe, so we are connected to all of them. It's just cousin souls, cousin fields. And some get together, have a party, and that party becomes the soul of the man. Some other get together in another part, become soul of your brother or your mother or your father or whatever. Or another cat, another creation in dimension of creator in another universe and galaxy. It's not that in the physical dimension we all go back to one mother, as has been tracked by United Nations. In a dimension of the soul, we all go back to the same father, to the same creator. And once we understand this, then we understand how we have access to the knowledge of the universe, because it all comes and goes through and is within the same system. I made man in the image of myself. I create many images according to the interaction of the fields of me with the environment which I created. The whole purpose, the whole understanding of life is very simple. The fields create conditions, which those conditions create new positions and conditions within themselves, which that interaction itself leads to creation of condition of creating life. I've referred this very clearly in the first book, where we talk about the fields. They make a plasma, they make an atom, and then you get the weight and then the rest of it. But if you look at it, a mass, which is itself collection of the fields, with the interaction with its environment creates a weight. And then the same, how did the mass come across? How was it produced? The mass comes from interaction of the fields, which have create condition in the inertial dimension of the field of the universe. This is why the mass is the same across all points and places in the universe, because the reference point inertia of it is the central point of the universe. Now we understand this. Now we always say your mass is the same, doesn't matter where you go. We understand why. Because it's all connected to the source. And like you have inertia on this planet, you have the universal inertia, which dictates all elements within this universe follow the same category, the same structure, the same interaction, and we call it the mass of the material, the mass of an element. We have atomic mass and we have atomic weight. The weight is when this mass interacts with this environment. Then we get a new side. This is how much it is at this position. When the fields of the soul of the universe interacts with the condition at a certain field strength of this planet, creates a reference mankind. If that reference is slightly different, it becomes a dog. If that reference point is still different, it becomes something else. Exactly, each atom has its own mass. And that mass in interaction with its environment creates its own condition and manifestation. In respect to the inertia of that point, we have a universal inertia and we have a local inertia. This is why some materials cannot manifest themselves on this planet, because the inertia of that element in respect to interaction with the fields of the gravity and magnetic field of the environment of this planet does not allow manifestation, but does not mean that it doesn't exist. This answers a lot of questions in the world of physics. This is why we, as for example, look for neutrinos and we can't find them. But if we create the inertial magnetic field strength of a given size, all new, what we call elements will manifest themselves. There'll be no neutrinos. Because this planet does not create the inertial field strength to lead to the manifestation or interaction. Once man understands this, once we extend the knowledge to understand we are part of, because we came from off, then we understand the whole process of the creation changes. How does it change? It depends how this planet, in the interaction with the fields of the solar system of it, with other systems, was given the responsibility to create this inertia, to absorb certain element field strength from its source and within the structure. Jupiter, Saturn have a structure, gravitational magnetic field inertia of gaseous level. And as they lose it, as the Jupiter or Saturn reaches to interact with the inertial field forces of the solar system, the star of it, then you change the gases into matter state. Because inertia of the gas is different than the inertia of the matter state. It's created different. If you go back to the teachings, for a long, long time, I always said gravitational field force of what we call life on this planet is connected to oxygen. Now you understand why. Where the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth and the matter state is connected to iron. And if you understood this, if you can comprehend what is oxygen, which is more or less 16, multiply 16 by 4. What do you get? Now you understand. You sit around the gravitational magnetic isotopes of iron with capability and power strength fields of copper and zinc. You got 16 by 4, 40. 16, sorry, 4 by 10 is very easy. 24, you have 64 sets with the upper bracket of the isotopes of iron, which is 56, plus what comes to zinc. And then you go down by the factor of field strength. Then you understand why our life is created in the structure of the protein on this planet. It's all inertia connected, but at the same time, gravitational magnetic field absorption of the point and place and position. Now you understand how everything on this planet is controlled. Because you have nitrogen, 14. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 10 is 40, 56. Iron is 56. Then you understand why nitrogen becomes an energy source connected to gravitational field forces of the matter state of this planet. This is why our life is a hybrid and we are flexible. We have flexible muscle tissues as protein. We connect to the matter state plasma, which is the iron, and then copper, and then zinc, which gives us our neural system and the muscle tissue. And then on the other end, by the common denominator fraction, we're connected to the amino acids, the storage, nitrogen, plus the gravitational field of the gaseous side, not the matter state. Then the two come together. This leads to the creation of the flexible life, flexible tissue, combination of interaction, creating intelligence. Then, if you understand this further, you understand how our life is connected directly to the hydrogen. And why to the carbon? Hydrogen takes us directly to the line of connection at a specific characteristics, in a specific condition, to the line of the creator. It gives us the inertial magnetic field strength of the universe. Then you have the carbon, which again connects us to the dimension of the physicality. Carbon 60, carbon, whatever you call it, communication and creation of my own environment. Then you understand how easily life on this planet is dictated. And then you understand how your soul is connected to the planetary system because of the nitrogen and oxygen, and then connected to the universal and the creator through the carbon and hydrogen. This pattern follows anywhere in the universe. One local, which what we call the weight. One, what we call universal, which we call the mass. And one in interaction with the other leads to creation of life. Then the question to ask is very simple. What is and how is the soul created? Is it hydrogen? Is it carbon and hydrogen? And is it connected in the field strength of the other matters? This is for man to understand. And then when it comes to the point of the transportation, you use the heavy side. When it comes to the point of the transmutation, you use the universal side. And once you understand this, you understand how the cycle of life is connected anywhere in the universe. Life on this planet is connected to iron, which is magnetic field strength of it, with a spectrum of the field strength of, to the matter state inertia, that it can be dynamic to create interaction of the fields with the universal fields. This is the only reason we have the amino acid. This is the only reason why amino acids are created. Connecting the universal fields and the line of connection to the creator, to the local inertia dimension of the field strength, what we call the environment. So anything created in the universe, from a stone to a plant to a tree to a man to an animal to another creatures in the universe, always have that line of connection, which is through hydrogen. Then you understand why in all the teaching I speak about humbleness. I speak about giving, being in love with. Because then you're not attached to the universal dimension and you're not attached to the physical dimension, but you connect yourself because it has no attachment. It stays independently to the hydrogen, which is a line of the connection to the soul of the plasma of the creator, which we all came from. Today, we have prejudices about our color, the race, which part of the world we come from. What happened when we understand this and become passengers of universe? People from such a galaxy, people from such a planet are so and so, and we have to hate them or love them or whatever. When you know you all come from one, does the 5 finger of a hand make any difference? Do you love one less than the other? That's what we are. That's what creation is. That's what life is. Does not matter where you come from. And this is where man has literally misunderstood the process of the creation. We are all those fingers, all connected through the hand to the body of the man. But the creational process of life in the universe has many fingers, one hand, and one connection to the creator. All come together, all interact with each other, all become to be part of each other. And this is the essence of the creation. If, when the scientists understand this, how we are connected, how we link into, how we connect ourselves to the inertia, and at the same time we connect ourselves to the gravitational field of the planet in the matter state, gaseous state, or whatever state, then we become to understand the work of the plasma, the work of the creation of plasma, how plasmas are created and how they manifest themselves. Then, if we manage to create the inertia of the universe and the inertia of the given environment, we can manifest anything in that environment according to its field strength. The process of creation is simple. It just needs to be understood. Connections have to be understood. Connections have to be made. Then you understand how everything is connected to each other and how we grasp, we add, we collect, we divide materials, fields, matters together and with each other. Then you understand how to go from matter state to the energy state, transmute, transfer, and then return back to the matter state. But you have to understand, again, you abide by the rules. On Earth, you have the carbon and hydrogen, and then on Earth, you have the gravitational field, the strength of the iron base, which is 56, and is what we call the boundary of its field, the strength which copper, the zinc, and the copper. Then you understand, man will look like this, does not matter where he goes on this planet. But when I take you out in the dimension of the gravitational field of the universal field of strength, because you transfer everything into it in the hydrogen and the carbon combination, and take you to another dimension where, for example, the magnetic field of the planetary system is, let's say, potassium. Then you have a spectrum. Your skin will be green. You won't be brown and blue and black. You'll have different shades of green. Your body will not work on a nitrogen basis. It works on the combination of the field strength to make that. You don't work on 4 times nitrogen, you work on 3 times nitrogen, which is 42. And then you have the spectrum of life with it. This is why calcium is the solid state of the physicality of body as bone. In the condition of the atmospheric gravitational magnetic field plasma of this planet. Then you understand, when we always said, if we create a fish tank of the field strength of the given environment, when we transfer you in it, you transfer and you will see how you look in the other environment. It's not magic anymore, is it? Now the science is understood. It's very much like you stand by a pool and jump in the pool. You weigh so much outside the pool, and when you're in water, you don't weigh that much because you're in a new environment. The only thing is, you have not managed to convert, to transmute yourself to the structure of a fish. And would the desire to become a fish, would you jump from the side of a pool as a man? Once you land in the water, you behave and live like a fish? Or now would that make sense? What is a mermaid? Was there a fish? Was it a man who jumped to live like a fish? Or a woman? That half transmutation has taken place, combination of two. Mankind will see many styles of life like this in the universe. Combination of two environments where both lives can be enjoyed. But one is a combination of physical condition, and one is a condition of the wish of a soul, the strength of the field of the soul of the man. Then hybrid structures is a very common position in the universe, where man can live in both dimensions, but both can tolerate each environmental condition. Many of children of man in the future, when we come travel over space, will create these kind of conditions, these kind of children, where one is from one side of the universe and the mother is from the other side, and then both can live in both societies because they inherited the dimension of the fields of both. It's like a black and a white couple. We see that in the physical dimension, what you create as a child. In the dimension of the universal field transmutation, we see the interaction of the fields of the soul and the physicality that can live with the dimension of both. Then we understand how to transmute in the future. Then we understand how to travel in the future. And then we understand, for us to become the passenger of the universe, we need to transfer our energy and the physical condition into the universal energy, into the direction of the hydrogen and the carbon, and then we can travel the span of the universe. This is what we do when we are asleep, and we call it the dream. In the physical condition, we travel, we walk with our legs and arms. When that cage is released, on the other half, in a way, if you look at it, in a physical condition, we rely on the copper and zinc side. In our condition of sleep, we go on the hydrogen and the carbon side. We use the carbon to travel the span of the universe. And then we use the hydrogen for manifestation of the point and the time of place, because we use the same thing when we come to the dimension of physicality. And if you understand this, it becomes very simple to understand. Anywhere you go in the universe, due to the dimension of the carbon-14 interaction, all things can communicate and transmute anywhere in the universe, depending on the gravitational field of the environment. Carbon-12. Then you have the nitrogen, 14. Then you have the condition of the gaseous condition gravity, 16. H is too far from carbon. It's the line of connection to the creator. 14, carbon 12, carbon 14 is the connection of the line of the interaction of the field of that hydrogen with itself, which has amalgamated to a point that is common denominator in universal transfer in this universe, which then in interaction with the environment of the field's inertial gravitational field matter state leads to manifestation of the matter life, which connects us with its inertia, with its gravity, with its gaseous, with its matter state, with its liquid state, to the conditioned conversion of the physicality of the man. Then you understand how creation and the creator are connected to each other. This is how our soul is connected to the soul of the creator, because we are part of it. It's not a connection of it. We are it. And when man understands this, man moves to a new dimension, a new direction in life. And then we understand, irrespective of life, position, and place, we are all connected through that hydrogen to the creator. And we are all the same. And somewhere in transfer of the physicality, one will meet another and lead to creation of new life. When we speak about when the man leaves this physical dimension and takes position in another place in the universe, this can be in amalgamation from another energy of another soul from another place, which together they create that condition of life in that position. And then in so many ways we understand the process of Trinity. Balance between the field forces of different part of the universe is not just two things coming together. It's like egg and a sperm from two different races, two different creatures of the same in this environment leads to creation of life. Then we understand the simplicity of the process of creation. Then we understand the process of creation. Then we understand the totality of the creation. I made man in the image of myself. Because it's me manifesting myself according to the time, the place, the position, gravitational field, inertia. I refer to this many times. You are in the room, you breathe, room is normal temperature. If you change the environment outside, you get the frost on the window, you know there is a moisture, manifestation of physicality. If you heat it up, you see the moist on the window, manifestation of the same in different shape. There is no difference between the macro and micro. There is no difference in the life of manifestation of the man or the creation and the dimension of created in another position. Then we have to understand the room is the space of this universe. The condition inside is the manifestation of fields of the environment you enter in. You'll be a drop of water on the window today, and the ice piece on the same window with the same thing. And in a normal environmental condition of the place, time, and position, you manifest yourself as a man. Then we even understand why we were burned in the fire. If you understand how you can transfer, transmute, you become part of the fire. You never burn, there will be no ashes as you transfer in, because in the space you'll come to the spaces that the temperature of the position and time and the place is hotter than the burning fire on this planet. Doesn't mean your demise. It means you have to understand that you live within that fire. This is why we see life in what we call the hottest places in volcanic eruption of this planet. Now we understand the process. This is why they said you cannot live under so much pressure, cold or whatever. And now we see life in those places, because now we understand the process of creation and not the hypocrisy of the past. And we have become very good at it. We just brush it away as if we didn't believe it. This is something new. We don't know about the others. But if you understand this, that life can live in the most coldest part of this planet and in the most hottest part of this planet, then you understand it's the same for the universe. Life exists across this universe and the unicos. Then, in a most probably more compact understanding of the science of the man in the near future, we'll see full cycle of life on the moon. We'll see full cycle of life on Mars. We don't need to come up with the hypocrisy, does ever life lives? No, we go and create a condition of it and see how life is, and we find it because we know what we are looking for. There is a difference between the inertia, there is a difference between gravity, there is a difference between magnetical and gravitational. And this is why I split it from the beginning very clearly. How much comes in and how much goes out. If you read in detail, understand the concept, understand the essence of the, what I call the black hole, creation of black hole paper, you have been given the secret of the creation. And the knowledge in that paper is so complete that when you put it in conjunction with the first few chapters of book 1, you see the essence of the creation, the line to the creator. I made man in the image of myself. Because I create the environment of it. I decide in what environment I want to be created. I create the fields for it, and then I manifest myself because of it. So each one of us carries the image of the creator in the dimension of the field, the strength of the soul, the emotion and the physicality and the time and the place. Then we understand why all the attributes of the creator is within the man. Man has to manifest it. Man needs to understand it to transmute between dimension of physicality or the fields. And so it's very easy. The new systems which you will see coming into operation creates both. We have a part of it which is the collection of the soul, and we have part of it which is within the collection of and creation of the magnetic field of the matter state flying system. So we have a hybrid system. In the new flying system, you can transmute what you can transfer, or you can transfer what you transmute. Depends which side do you like. You would like to in dimension of physicality and enjoy the partner, or do you want to be in the dimension of the soul strength and be in touch with the partner, where we can enjoy both dimensions? It's like speaking two languages. You're not prejudiced about one or the mother because one is spoken by the mother and one by the father, or one is spoken in the family, in the house, and one is spoken outside. You're aware of both and you exist amongst both. And this is how life is on this planet. And this is how we transmute. The whole structure and the failure in the world of science has been that they never understood the connection of the man with his creator and with his universe. We always looked at the man to be in this village of planet Earth and that's it, this is life, what it is. No, we are here because what was brought in and interacted with the environment, but as we brought in, we still got connection with because we came from it. This is the purpose. This is the totality of understanding the knowledge of the creation and the connection to the creator and man as a manifestation of its physicality of this place, time and position. Then you understand why you can resurrect as man called. You take the body to the dimension of the field of the soul, and then You create a new condition of the emotion of the man, and you manifest yourself as a new man. Isn't this what the Christ did? And now we understand the process. He went on the cross with the emotion and the motion of giving love and bringing the connection to the whole race of the man. On the cross, transferring to his energy, returning back to a new emotional dimension, he became a man and he walked amongst men. It wasn't that he disappeared. Man didn't see who came out of the room, who came out of the cave, who came and went in, and what came out. He went with a different field strength of the soul, and he came out with a different field soul strength. And that creates different man. This is why we are all different from each other. And maybe understand why some people look alike each other. If you go into depth of their emotional understanding, they have very similar characteristics. Doesn't matter which nation they come from. Then we understand the process of creation. And then we understand the true meaning of transmutation, where we can take the body with us, or we can take the energy of the body with us, and then manifest ourselves in that place and time and position. And then, if you can create the matching field strength of the soul at the point of manifestation, you will be looking exactly the same as you are in the other place. Now you understand why I explained it can be in two places. Man has that ability primarily due to the fact of the use of the copper and the split in the field strength of the copper. Man is one of the very few creatures in the universe that has a split brain structure. Because due to environmental condition has been pushed into that dimension. In the universe, we have other structure of the brain which are 4 or 6 sections. Because that's what that environment allocates, allow us to bring in a balanced fields. And in most of the universal conditioned creatures are singular brain structure. Because they are directly connected. These creatures never kill, these creatures never do anything wrong. Because through understanding of the common denominator, they can feed themselves. They can exist. And we have the confirmation of it. And we tested this on you lot last Friday. Last Friday test was the confirmation of the teaching of today. And this is why the new systems which has gone into use by the German Wellness Center uses this principle. And we've seen in the first week the changes. Where we feed the physicality of the man directly to connection to the soul of the man and the soul of the creator within the structure of the system. And this is where the change is, where the principal change has come in. In last Friday, we checked you out, those each group, some of your group went through nothing, you felt nothing, because we went to prove that this is what happens. In other groups, we create a connection with the soul and the soul of the physicality of the man, what I thought for decades, that you feed the soul feeds the physicality, you don't need the soul of physicality in between. Then man shall not kill. Then we become mono brain structure. We become mono soul structure, where we have two pieces of brain to interact to create the dimension of physicality of the man and his behavior. Now the structure of the brain of the man with the soul becomes a twin. And this is part of the creation for man needs to understand. And we see, we feel, we understand the totality. Then transmutation and transportation becomes part of the same. It's just you have to decide. I walk or I get in the car, go faster. Then you understand why we talk about emotion in dimension of physicality and emotion in dimension of the soul of the man, because that's the key of the connection. And when they share, you say in the world of the man, we get the twins. We get twins of the soul, like the twin stars, like the twin systems we introduced in the gas production. Because one lives in the dimension of the fields and one lives in the dimension of the matter. And then the interaction of the two leads to creation of the condition of satisfaction of the soul of the man. Now you understand. When you receive your twin cancers, understand the process of the interaction of the fields dimension of physicality. And then you understand the totality. In the next few days, we'll announce in the second part, a new cycle of the what we call processing has started understanding this process. And then you understand how genes will change, how man will understand the condition, transformation and transmutation. There is no difference between one and the other. You transmute between the universal condition and a carbon and a hydrogen. You transfer in the dimension of the physicality, gravitational field of the matter state, which is the zinc and the copper and the iron, which is the physicality of the man. You have to decide which energy you transfer. You have to decide which dimension you want to transfer and more or less move into. In the dimension of the science of the man, when you want to travel in the dimension of physicality, what does your scientist tell you? 10,000 light years. If you transfer to the dimension of the universal field energy of the carbon and hydrogen, instantaneous. That's why one doesn't make sense with the other, because man never understood the knowledge. If I bring the cell of your kidney out of your body and put it on the table, would it still know it's cell of a kidney in your body? Or is just a cell on itself, on its own? And then, if it has the combination of it, it'll create a life. Would it create a kidney? Or would it create the work of the function of the kidney in the body of the man in that new environment? Now you understand the whole connection with the life of the man, with the universe, or the physicality dimension of this planet, or any other planet, or any other position in the universe. And this is why I keep on saying there is no place in the universe that there is no life. Even the open span of the universe, there is life. We have to understand what is the gravitational magnetic field and the weight of that environment that we can interact with, and then manifest ourselves in that dimension, place and position. And then if you understand this, and you can transfer the field strength of it, in the dimension of physicality, you become invisible on this planet. If you know what it means. Manifesting yourself, knowing, aware of your physicality on this planet, but connecting to the field of the universe, that the field of strength envelopes the physicality. I hope you understood how much you are part of the creation and the creator at the same time. With the beauty and the control of emotion, you can be in any dimension as the wish of the man wishes to be. and understand more in depth what life means, both in the dimension of the creation and the creator.